If Lagos State was in rebellion against Nigerian government, I, Lateef Olufemi Okunnu, would be on the side of Nigeria.
Hello, my great and wonderful people. We welcome you once again to our today's episode of this program. And today we get a lot of videos and messages for our team. We're going to be saying one quickly the review to you concerning the things we want to be saying if they happen right now for inside this country, Nigeria. Just as you already see one from the introduction, that one are the senior advocate of Nigeria when he be say he come outside this morning for Arise News studio. He come through some lights to some issues when he be say it dey shake every corner of this country, even as we dey speak right now. And one of the major issue not pass be say, as we dey talk now, the former central bank governor, when he be say in name na Godwin Emiefele, after a lot of drilling by EFCC and DSS, don't agree to return 4 trillion naira to the federal government of Nigeria. This matter say he not thief any money, but where he be say Godwin Emiefele for see 4 trillion naira to return to the federal government account. All right, you just listen to this next documentary when it be say it will display before you right now. And before then, I beg not forget to help us like this video, because the more you like this video, the more YouTube they recommend them to people. Now their own policy now it be that very one. Thank you so much for your support. I beg listen to this very one. I'll come back for more.
The former governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Mr. Godwin Emiefele, has reportedly refunded a whopping sum of N4 trillion to the coffers of the federal government. This was parts of money stolen while he was at the helm of affairs of the Apex Bank for years, according special investigator posted in social media. According to a source close to the investigators, besides reportedly returning N4 trillion, Emiefele also allegedly gave up ownership of 6 banks linked to him. In a related development, the source revealed that a former CBN deputy governor, Tun Limo, also reportedly refunded $500 million embezzled through taxpayers' money. The most shocking of all, however, was the discovery of $275 million in the bank account of a 6-year-old son of Sabiu Yusuf, aka Tund, a personal assistant to former President Muhammadu Buhari. Also discovered was another N1.5 trillion in the personal account of the former personal assistant to former President Buhari. The source said the special investigator, Jim Osayande Abazi, and his committee allegedly discovered $275 million in an account in a new generation bank belonging to 6-year-old son of Sabiu Yusuf. Another N1.5 trillion also allegedly traced to Yusuf, a very influential member of the former President Muhammadu Buhari's government. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is currently negotiating, using some influential Nigerians, on how to refund the funds without being exposed. Only recently, National Security Advisor (NSA) Nuhu Ribadu lamented that the current administration inherited a bankrupt country from the Buhari's government due to the large-scale looting that occurred then. It could be recalled that Tinubu employed the services of Mr. Abazi, a special investigator, to investigate the activities of CBN under Emiefele and related entities. So far, Abazi has recovered over N12 trillion looted mostly by members of the former President Buhari's administration. The source also claimed that the committee has also rejected several millions of dollars in bribe offers from former members of the Buhari's government to avoid being arrested and exposed.
All right, my great and wonderful people, I believe say you don't listen to every details of that very documentary. Now, I believe each and every one of Unana know exactly where our money they enter. And again, I equally believe a lot of people they argue say this administration of Amebola Tinubu know wetin that they do. If they only shake Emiefele, and they see 4 trillion naira back, ask yourself question if they shake Buhari and Adesina, even Lai Mohammed, Loretta Onoche, and so many of them when they say we know Korokoro, tell me wetin will come outside. That one a question when they say supposed to ask yourself if truly say this APC administration, if not be general APC administration, Bola Tinubu, when he sit down for Aso Rock, so really mean well for Nigeria and also Nigerians. Say he wants, may we see the light of the day. May this poverty not continue. The way when be say dollar take the pursue naira enter house, so make it not continue. They know what they're supposed to do. We get more than enough to make sure say we dey okay. And those money, it dey within us here. If we dey honest to ourselves, it not will take this nation, Nigeria, anything to become one of the best for the whole world. All right, and so talking concerning this matter, we'll leave you to share your own opinion with us in the comment section, even as we leave you to listen to this other interview when EBC will receive from this senior advocate of Nigeria when EBC is show up for Arise News Studio this morning. Credit to Arise News Studio for this very documentary. We'll come back for more.
Alhaji Femi Okunnu SAN, elder statesman and non-Nigerian. You were still talking, and then the TV got frozen, and we lost connection with you, sir. But you were talking about insecurity, and there was that other question about Humanitarian Affairs Department that was asked by Rufai Oseni. If you may just continue from where you left off, sir.
Thank you very much. Now, the insecurity, the country as a whole must be well protected. Of course, including the federal capital of Abuja. Insecurity is not something we should play with. And I hope that the president will make sure that he has the best advice within the services and also among those who have retired from the service. They may still have some useful information or advice to give the president some tips from their experience. As regards the pilfering of money by political parties, you see, when the British left the country, they left a very good civil service. The administration was very good. In 1958, there was Nigerianization policy, which led to recruitment of the best brains in the public service. Until the time, the regime of, I believe, General Babangida, the permanent secretary of a ministry was the accounting officer, not the minister. But Babangida changed it from permanent, took it away from the permanent secretary to the political appointee. That is one vital error which the government, I hope, will correct. Make the permanent secretary of the ministry, who has worked through the years, let him be the accounting officer and not the minister. The minister should not touch a kobo. In all my 7 years, 7 months in Gawan's government, I didn't touch a kobo. It was the permanent secretary who will account for the money voted for the ministry every year, and that's all. So restore the office of accounting officer to the permanent secretary. Is there before the minister was appointed. He will remain there, or his colleague will remain there after the minister has left. The civil service was degraded after the purge of 1976, 75 rather, by the late General Muritala Mohammed. and General Obasanjo, who took over when he was assassinated, I think in February 1976. The civil service has not recovered from that purge till today. Restore the civil service to its old role. Politicians come, politicians go. Ministers come, ministers go. From different backgrounds. The civil service, the civil servant, before you become a permanent secretary, you climb the ladder. And your past, this is your life, as it were, before you become. So that error, I believe, is vital and it should be corrected. Ministers should not touch money. Even traveling expenses, in my days when General Gawan was head of state, were kept by the officials traveling with me. So restore that status to the civil servant, not a minister, to handle money. The background of the minister, you don't know the background of the minister. The president appoints, after consultation with political aides or associates. It's short term, but the civil service is there. Strengthen the civil service. And I think that will solve a lot of problems about money disappearing, money being paid into private accounts by politicians. By politicians. No. It shouldn't be.
Well, sir, I would like to go back to the question with which we started, which is about the relocation of departments and headquarters across the country. There are some Lagosians who are saying that, in fact, it's not just departments of CBN or Aviation Authority that should come back to Lagos, that the Ports Authority, the headquarters of Nigerian Ports Authority, should not be in Abuja. And that the Maritime Authority, the agency called NEMASA, should not have its headquarters in Abuja. After all, there's no waterway in Abuja. That those departments, their headquarters, their main operations should be in Lagos. What do you think? And then there's this other unresolved question, and it's a good opportunity to have it with us today, about works. You were Federal Commissioner for Works. And we had on this program Chief Olabode George, who was accusing former governor, former minister Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN, of not using his position as a person who also occupied that ministry to do roads in Lagos. And he said it clearly on this program, that was scandalous. You once occupied that ministry during Gowon's time as head of state. Is it standard practice for a minister of works to first of all pay attention to where he comes from as an obligation to his people? And then, of course, the other question about what other departments should come to Lagos.
First of all, I will restate my point about relocation of departments, of ministries to any part of the country. I would prefer to leave that for the presidency, the head of the administration, where he wants the department to be moved to. Basically, the federal capital should house all the departments. But for whatever reasons, political, strategic, or whatever, he wants to relocate some departments, not the whole ministry. Some departments. If a Ports Authority, for example, well, you will need to be near water. So if the government decides to relocate some of the NPA departments to Warri, for example, to Calabar, they are on the sea. To me, the government or the presidency should be left to decide what he wants for the best of the for the good of the country. I don't know about these Lagosians who made demands. I am in the heart of Lagos. I've been in Lagos all my 91 years, or 19 years. I'll be 91 next month. I've not heard of any agitation by people of Lagos State. You say Lagosians. Oh no. I'm not aware of any agitation or some departments being relocated to Lagos. No, I'm not. Maybe some fringe characters. And let me say this. I'm a Nigerian. At the outbreak of the Civil War, I said to myself, and I stood by that if Lagos State, newly created on the day the one appointed is federal commissioners, 26th May 1967. If Lagos State was in rebellion against Nigerian government, I, Lateef Femi Okunnu, would be on the side of Nigeria. And I hope that all of us, for goodness sake, let us believe in Nigeria. Let us live as Nigerians. This idea of state of origin should be limited to political decisions in certain areas. Let us believe in Nigeria. Let us live as Nigerians. I haven't seen any Indian who comes forward to say, oh, I'm an Indian from Gujarat State and local government. Let us debase this idea of local government and statism. We are foremost Nigerians. We should remain as Nigerians. I don't believe in all the cultural organizations, yes. But the cultural organizations, the ethnic organizations are moved into a political arena. The Lagos I grew up in, I'm talking of the 40s and the 50s, and as a young man in the 60s and so on. Nigeria was one. If Lagos were Nigeria, what beautiful country this country would be. Nnamdi Azikiwe was born in Zungeru of Onitsha parentage. He was a hero of young persons in those days. He won election in Lagos on the platform of Democratic Party NCNC Alliance against NYM, Nigerian Youth Movement, founded by Dr. Von and others, Dr. Von, Dr. Majaya, and so on, in 1932. Democratic Party, founded by Herbert Macaulay in 1922, when Clifford's Constitution came into being. So Nigerians were one. They voted an Igbo man here. I was a Zikist most of my life. Talking personally, I admire Chief Awolowo as leader of action group. My first impression of him and my first sight of him was when, in 1958, he agreed his own delegation action group who went to London for constitutional talks and were angered that the Nigerians in Britain by coming every year to hold talks, and we said we should protect taxpayers' money and hold the talks in Lagos. NPC refused to see us on that, and that's great. Even Zik NCNC refused to receive the delegation of Nigeria Union of Great Britain and Ireland, which I had the honor to lead, to meet the various political parties. Right. NEPO, no problem. Chief Olowo, with many non-action group members in the union, right, who are not partisan, yes, received us. And my first impression of him was, he's a leader.
Yes, sir.
Because he was in control of, full control of his delegation.
All right.
So Lagos represented Nigeria in those days. I hope we still represent Nigeria today. So the spat between Bode George and Tunde Fashola, I'm not part of it.
All right, my great and wonderful people. I believe so una don't listen to the whole details of this very interview. Sorry, we just need to leave you to watch this full video so that you will understand the total comprehension of everything when it be say it happened for there. All right, because of time, we'll leave you to share your own opinion with us in the comment section, even as we draw the line of this very broadcast here. We'll see you again when we see you. Remember, we love you all. Bye-bye.